Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this Life at Nottingham Business School live Q&A. My name is Tom Spencer. I'm Head of Undergraduate Programmes here at Nottingham Business School, and I'm delighted to be joined by a colleague of mine, one of our current students and one of our alumni as well. The process for this afternoon is we're going to answer some questions that we've already received, and we encourage you to ask any questions that you might have by entering them into the comments box that goes alongside this live video as well. So I'm going to ask my colleagues to introduce themselves. So Lydia, could I ask you to go first, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Lydia. I'm currently a final year business management and marketing student.
Fantastic, thank you, Lydia. Raven?
Hey, I'm Raven, an ex-international business with Spanish student from NTU, and currently I'm an analyst at Goldman Sachs.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And last but not least, Sunny.
Hi everyone, I'm Sunny Jones. I'm the School Employability Manager for the Business School, but I'm also a lecturer in accounting and finance.
Fantastic, thank you very much. So, like I say, we're going to answer some questions, hopefully give you a little bit of an insight into what it's like to be at Nottingham Business School, some of the experiences and opportunities that would be available to you should you come and join us. And like I say, I encourage you to ask any questions that you have during the course of this session as well. So I think we're ready. So shall we get going with the first question, please? So the first question is around which buildings on campus will I be based in and what facilities will I have access to? So the business school is based on our city campus in the heart of Nottingham city centre, with great access to all the facilities that a thriving city has to offer. And the business school itself is based in the Newton building, which is at the heart of the city centre campus. It's a fantastic building with very modern facilities and infrastructures to support you with your studies. We also have within the business school our business labs, which are set up with Bloomberg trading equipment. And as well as the Newton building on the city campus, we have the Boots Library, we have the Dryden Centre, we have our NTU Enterprise Centre and the Student Union building as well. It's a really modern city centre campus. Lots of investment has gone into really making that a fantastic campus for students to study at. Lydia, I don't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about how you interact with the campus, so to speak, on a daily basis.
Yeah, so basically, in my experience, at the moment this year, I live about 5 minutes away. And personally, what I like about the NBS campus is that, as Tom said, that you're right in the middle of a city centre. It's literally 5 minutes down the road. So kind of like your studies and your social life and everything is kind of separate, but it's still in the heart of everything. And yeah, it's a good building. It's got the library is near it. There's extended places to study as well if the library is full. So there's definitely a lot there. Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And it's worth noting that within the Newton building, where the majority of your study takes place, that's where all of our academic staff are based. So it's very easy for colleagues to come down and meet you in the Link Lounge and using the NBS help desk that we have set up. So if you have any questions or queries that you want to talk to someone about, we have an area where you can come and meet us and have those one-to-one conversations and we can help support you with your studies or other queries that you might have as well. So if we can move on to the next question, please. So this is talking about how many days or weeks will I be in seminars and lectures. So obviously the last few years have been quite disrupted, but we've made a real big return to on-campus teaching this academic year, and we're looking to further develop that over the course of the next academic year as well. Generally speaking, we try and ensure that you have timetable sessions over a minimum of 3 to 4 days during the week. We always try and keep one day free for you to engage with extracurricular activities, sports, societies, independent study. And we also understand that many students have, part-time jobs that they want to fit in around that as well. So like I say, 3 to 4 days. It can vary occasionally, but what's really important to us moving forward is getting students. We've had students back in the classroom this academic year for all of their seminars, and we will continue that. And we're looking to increase the amount of on-campus lectures that take place as well over the next academic year. We are an on-campus university, and we can't wait to welcome new students back onto campus come September as well. Raven, if I could ask you, in terms of if you look back, and obviously the end of your studies was somewhat disrupted by COVID, but I guess if you go back to pre-COVID times, what was your experience in terms of how seminars and lectures were structured and how you were able to fit other things in alongside your studies?
Yeah, sure. Wow, it's actually looking back, it's actually quite a while since I was actually sat. I think in final year, I think I was actually I think I attended probably 3 in-person lectures. But yeah, so I think the main structure of them were that we would have large lectures, which kind of had 100 plus people in them, and then kind of based off of that, we'll then have the seminars. We would have to do more interactive workshops and wider interactive learning based on what we picked up in the lectures. And that was kind of where, based on our own reading and stuff, we would answer questions and do troubleshooting of it, any issues, if you kind of didn't really understand things. But yeah, I think the seminar to lecture ratio worked quite well for me, because it wasn't everything was all in one bulk learning session, so it gave you the time to split it up. And sometimes you might have a few days in between, you can get your head around things, do your reading, and then prepare for the seminars following the lectures.
That's great, thank you. So we can move on to the next question, please. So will I be able to go any trips, have any opportunities to personalize my experience? This is a fantastic question, because this really plays into the heart of what we value at Nottingham Business School, and it's a key part of our strategy around enabling students to personalize their learning and personalize the experience that they have through the range of opportunities that we embed both in the curriculum of the courses you study, but also through the range of extracurricular opportunities that are available to you as well. So, I mean, I could reel off a whole list of things that are available to you, but just to give you a little bit of insight: international summer schools, international study abroad opportunities, placement opportunities, internships. We have a scheme called Grads for Nottingham. We have sports and societies that you can get involved with through the NTSU. You could become a student ambassador, an academic, a student mentor. We run business challenges and competitions. There are a whole host of things. I think actually what would be really useful is maybe to get a little bit of insight from each of my colleagues on the Q&A today, just about some of those areas. So Sunny, maybe if I could come to you first about, in particular, thinking about the University's Business Challenge, because I think that's something that we're really proud to take part in and have got a really good tradition of performing well in that.
Yeah, so it's really great, because the University's Business Challenge is something that you opt for. So it's a choice. You put your name forward and you get put into a group, and your group has to then work on a live simulated challenge, and you compete against universities across the UK. And it's a really interesting and lifelike experience. So students get to work out what they should do in terms of marketing, where they should spend the budget, how they're going to do this, how they're going to report on it, how do they improve their sales overall. And they have to submit their solutions week on week, and you get a ranking. And then the students, the teams that go forward get to the semi-finals, and then to the quarterfinals, then to the semi-finals, and to the finals. And this year they were face-to-face, and some of our student teams went and really had a great time. But the key thing they take away from that is that actually what they've learned in the classroom is really, really relevant to what they're going to have to potentially end up doing in real life. So, and they really do enjoy that experience and come back almost a little bit more grown up, going, oh my God, it's really really useful. So yeah, so that's a really good one. The other one I was just going to say is community engaged learning projects. So if you've got a bit of something that you're interested in, you can go and work with our community engaged learning team and go and do a project and do a little bit of consultancy to help somebody in the community, which is always really good. And you always feel good doing those kind of things, and it really links and is assessed and part of your course as well.
Fantastic, Sunny. Thank you very much. Lydia, maybe I could ask you to talk about maybe one or two things that you've done during your time with us to personalise your own experience that you've really valued.
Yeah, so I was actually sat there earlier actually thinking what are the things that I've done, but one of the things I probably would say is, as you mentioned, Tom, like the Grads for Nottingham challenge. So I did that at the end of second year when I think we came home because of the pandemic. So I did that from home, but that was really good. So you apply for a certain business challenge, and then you are allocated in a group with a certain business. So I worked alongside uni days, which was a really good opportunity, working with other students to kind of solve one of the business problems. So we had 2 weeks to do it, worked with one of the managers on it, and then we presented back to the whole group at the end. And I think that similar to the challenges that you mentioned, Sunny, it does give you that really good like real world insight and experience to actually put like what you've learned to like into practice. So yeah, that was really good. Also recently did it was a 2-day intensive sort of coding course that the uni put on. It was over a weekend, but it was 2-day kind of intensive program building a website from scratch, which was something else I'd never done before. Just another thing to kind of put on your CV. We've got kind of a website to show for it as well. So lots of different things that you can get involved in to kind of personalize and learn new skills.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Lydia. Yeah, the Code at Uni event that we ran was really well received, I think. So I'm glad you took part in that and got a lot out of it. And then, Raven, can I come to you last but not least, by any means, in terms of, I know you had some international experiences as part of your program. So I don't know if you were able to talk a little bit about those.
Yeah, definitely. If I can just start by saying that, like, you know, outside of like the normal degree, there are actually like so many opportunities to diversify yourself, you know, and learn new skills, you know, and pick up new things like outside of, you know, like the day-to-day kind of like lectures and seminars that, you know, your timetable might be booked up with. I know definitely I was involved in two international two international summer schools, and then also a year abroad. So my first one, I think I was in Barcelona for 2 weeks over summer. Absolutely incredible experience studying out there. I managed to connect with and make friends with people who I speak to on a daily basis now. Some of my closest friends I met actually on that summer school and at the end of first year. And then at the end of second year, I had another opportunity to go away on a summer school to Mexico for 3 weeks. Again, another incredible experience. I've had some of my friends over there come and visit me in the UK, and I've also been back to visit them as well. But yeah, that's just like absolutely incredible. Getting to travel around Mexico a little bit with a group of about 20 other NTU students, connect with the students over there, international students from all over the world, attend lectures and seminars, and go traveling. Of course, like go out in the evenings and stuff like that in Mexico, which is definitely a plus. So yeah, and finally, I took a year, kind of a year in industry or a year studying abroad, in which, you know, I was so inspired by my summer school in Barcelona. I actually chose to return to the Toulouse Business School for a year. Granted, COVID kind of killed the end of that, but I still had a really, really good 6 months out there learning, developing, growing, and all of those unique experiences, you know, I was able to speak about in terms of like interviews and different opportunities, and managed to land myself a great job. You know, even though I spent my summers like doing different summer schools, it still gave me like some unique skill sets that I was able to like talk about and demonstrate, you know, in interviews. So yeah, I'd say definitely take up the opportunity to travel abroad during your summers when you've got some time.
That's great, thank you. And we're really excited because we you know, this summer we're sending first, second, and final year students, you know, out to summer schools in Europe, over in Canada, and also in Asia as well. So, you know, we were really pleased that we're now able to start doing that activity again, because we know the positive impact it has on student experience. And I think it's worth pointing out that, you know, there's a lot to engage with, but you have an academic mentor through each year who is there to have conversations with you about what it is that you want to achieve, what are the areas of development that you want to focus on, and what kind of initiatives and opportunities you might want to sign up to. So it's not something you have to think about and consider on your own. You have a support network there led by your academic mentor who is there to advise you and help counsel you through that. So that support is there throughout. Thanks, everyone. If we can move on to the next question, please. So this talks about assessments. So how will I be assessed on my course? And the answer is in a range of different ways. We try and ensure that there is diversity in the types of assessment that we utilise as part of our courses. So that could range from courseworks, they could be kind of academic essays, but also business style reports. They could be presentations, both individually or in groups. There could be IT-based assessments, simulations, and then also some more kind of timed assessments. One of the big things, obviously, that happened during the pandemic was that we moved away from on-campus examinations. And what that allowed us to do was really think about where did we want to return to on-campus exams? And we've made the conscious decision, a strategic decision as a business school, that we are not returning to on-campus examinations unless we feel there is a case to be made for that being the best method of assessment. So we're really encouraging colleagues across the school to think differently about innovative, authentic assessments that replicate the workplace and enable you to apply your knowledge in different ways outside of an on-campus examination. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about your individual course, then the best thing to do is to go on to the NTU website and find out more information there, or to utilise the Uni Buddy scheme and ask a question through there. But really, we've only returned to closed book on-campus exams for our accounting courses, where professional bodies require them for certain modules, and for a couple of economics modules as well. For the rest, we have not returned to those at the moment, and we're not planning to in the future either. I wonder, Raven, could I ask you to talk a little bit about the assessment that you did in your final year for living, working, studying abroad? And obviously that moved to an online environment because of the pandemic, but actually what you did as part of that, because I think even so there's that demonstrated the real creativity of the students on that module.
Yeah, definitely. So during the final, so just to start from the top. So the LWSA is the living, working and studying abroad. It's almost like a mini open day that the final years who would have just returned from their studying abroad opportunity. So they sort of put together this event, I think in October or November, around about that time, for students who will be thinking about that as an option, to attend and to be able to ask the students firsthand, about their experiences, what opportunities are actually out there, and just to get some more insights and advice. And of course, then, so from myself and my cohort returning back from our studying abroad experiences to the situation where everyone was kind of, locked down and still indoors and not attending campus, it was then the challenge of how do we deliver this to everyone in the normal way, where they can still have access to the same information and everything, and we can still organize the event, which was a part of our assessment, and we can still fulfill everything as close to as normal as could be. So we decided, that's the word I'm looking for, sorry. We decided to run this as a virtual event, which it was really, really interesting in terms of connecting with tech teams, in terms of putting together this virtual environment that we managed to populate with all of our photos and designing some rooms so that they look like you're actually in Valencia, in Barcelona, in LA, with the photos that were all put up, that students were able to see and to be able to scroll through and move through, and then also to connecting with the presentations that the teams were delivering live. And actually, I think from an assessment standpoint, it actually gave us an opportunity to demonstrate different levels of skills. You know, it was then a case of, it wasn't just a case of, you know, how can you market this event? You know, we could have gone down the route of, you know, standing in the entrance hall with a poster standard, letting everybody know about the event. But really, we had to put in, you know, a lot more effort in terms of how do we reach students at home, how are we going to get these communications through, how are we going to utilize the powers of social media, you know, coordinate to get ourselves into as many different lectures and things as possible. So I actually feel like through having that virtual event, it actually got us to actually demonstrate like a wider level of skills, and actually to actually become more engaged in the project ourselves. I know that we were having like weekly sprints with different teams and coordinating from different teams. So, you know, your communication had to be on it, because there wasn't a situation where, you know, you can all be in the same room at the same time, you know, and discussing it and leaving it, because you know, different people had different things going on. So yeah, I definitely think the change in the in, you know, like the exam format, I know that for me personally, I felt like my new assessments were designed in a way to that will move more from it being like a memory based activity, so being more of a skills application based. So I was able to demonstrate the skills that I'd learned rather than just recalling things that I just happened to remember from memory. So yeah, I definitely did appreciate that switch.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, and that's what we're aiming to do. You know, like I've mentioned the term authentic assessment. It's that replication of the real world rather than just can you recall something in a closed exam setting. So that's great. Thank you ever so much. If we can move on to the next question, please. So this one's about employability. So how will the NTU Employability Team support me, and can they help me look for a placement? So I'm going to pass over to Sunny as our employability manager to talk a little bit about this.
Hi. So I'm part of the NTU Employability Team, and as Tom mentioned, being here on campus, we've got the NTU Employability Team just downstairs, which is brilliant. So they're downstairs, so you can access them. So we offer a hybrid type service, so you can actually meet with them virtually if you like to, or you want to meet them face to face, you can. And we're kind of keeping that method going, because actually that's the way a lot of employers are engaging with students. So the way that we can support you to look for a placement is within your courses. There are prepare for experience sessions that we integrate into your course. So you will be attending them, regardless of whether you want to do a sandwich route or a full-time route, that you still get that opportunity, because at some point you'll be wanting to get some experience. And we have regular placement bulletins to let you know what's coming up, what's moving, what's shaking, who's recruiting now, when deadlines are coming up. So those kind of things are really readily available. We have an integrated system here at Nottingham Trent University, which is called In Place, and it's a system where we have specific opportunities that have just been found for our students. So it means that you get first dibs on getting these opportunities. So you just go on, have a sift through, have a look through what's there, and you can apply for those opportunities, which is great, because they're the ones that are not generally available to all of the students in the whole of the UK. These are ones that are specifically for NTU and NBS students. To support you with that, we've got obviously our NTU Employability Team. So we have a whole host of employability advisors, career consultants, and we have specific career consultants dedicated to your course. So they'll understand what's going on out there, what sort of the new roles are coming out, what's changing, what employers are looking for. So they're there to specifically help you. So you can book in to have a face-to-face appointment, an online appointment, however you want to do that. That support is always there. We also just have this our own portal called Employability Online. Within that, we have AI, so artificial enabled tech, which is really useful if you feel a bit anxious and you want to try something without somebody sort of feeling like you're judging you. You can upload your CV and you get automated AI feedback on that. You can also use Interview 360, which means you can sit in front of your computer and answer questions that might come up in an interview, and then you get feedback on those, and then you can improve before you have to go and see that. But then you can take all of that and go and see a careers consultant and say, so this is the feedback I got, how can I improve? So it's really, really helpful, and those kind of systems are used by employers. So we're integrating that into our offer. We have loads of things, and I'm sure Lydia and Raven can actually tell you about all the different things, from mock assessment centres to mock interviews, but I'll hand over to Lydia if that's okay.
Yeah, so I think, in my experience, employability helped me so much when I was looking for a placement. There was loads of workshops that I went to, things like where to look for a placement, where to search, how to answer competency questions. So really like specific parts of the interview that you would go and do a session on. So when I did at the start of first year, I think those sessions were in person, and so you can kind of like interact and work with other students on those questions as well. They also do the mock assessment centres, so I think I did one recently this year, just practicing. I think it's a group activity, it was an hour. I did that. So, and then I also went to an advisor to look over my CV a few times, so kind of did a few drafts, and I found that incredibly helpful in order to secure my placement when I did. So there's definitely all the parts of any application process, any interview process, you can get advice with any of it, and that was a great benefit to me. Yeah.
Thank you. Ravan, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'd definitely say having like access to like resources, for example, like the mock assessment center resources, as well as the psychometric tests, like definitely was a lifesaver, because I'm super bad at at doing the psychometric tests. Like it's always my weakness. So definitely having like a dedicated and also free resource, because like whenever I googled like psychometric testers, like they're always like so expensive. You have to like sign up and have like memberships and things like that. So yeah, knowing that like NTU had actually like invested in me in terms of like getting us access to that, was definitely helpful. And then additionally, like just some of the different sessions that the employability team put on that you can book onto. Some of the different like employer-led events where different people come in and different speakers come in and stuff like that. Even like the CV workshop where you can take your CV in and have somebody like check it before you submit it or before you go into an interview or something like that. Like definitely helped to like calm my nerves whenever I was applying for like a big internship or something like that, knowing that there was going to be somebody there on hand who would give the time to go through my CV, give me actionable feedback about the industry and things, and like was able to like empower me to make changes for the better.
Thank you.
That's great, thank you. I think really interesting insight, and again, just echoes the amount of support that's available for our students. And it's just worth noting that Lydia is currently in the final year of her business management and marketing degree. She's done a 4-year course, and we often call that a sandwich course, which means you do your first 2 years of study and then you do undertake a placement year for a full year before returning to take your final year in your 4th year. And Raven also did a 4-year course, but his 3rd year was overseas, as he previously mentioned. And pretty much all of our courses offer that choice between a 3 or a 4-year course, with the 4-year course offering that sandwich year. Next question, please. So what kind of employers and roles do MBS graduates go on to work for? It's a very open question, because I know the answer to this is a whole range of employers and a whole range of roles. So I don't know if you just wanted to quickly talk around this, and then maybe we could find out a little bit more about, Raven, what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, you've pretty much summed it up, really. I've put the answer to that question is pretty much anything and everything. So our students are really, really well equipped to do the things they want to do, or things they didn't know they wanted to do, because they've learned so much whilst they've been here going, well, I didn't really understand that, but now I really like the idea of that, and go down that route. So we have loads of organisations that our students work for. They're local to Nottingham, they're UK based, so nationwide, international. We have small SMEs, so like small to medium sized enterprises, startups, large, public, private, the whole raft of things. I'm just going to reel off a few roles. We have loads of grad roles in accounting, finance, HR, marketing, business management, policy. Those are the kind of roles our grads go on to. And I was just given a list, actually, which is far too long to go through, but I'll tell you the top 5. Experian, IBM, the Walt Disney Company, Deloitte, Volkswagen, Warner Brothers, Bosch, Hayes. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of where they go. But Raven will probably be able to give us a really clear insight of where he is. No
one
pressure.
of the sorry.
I said no pressure.
I know, yeah, no pressure. I'll start. So actually, during my time at GS, I was able to, sorry, not GS, during my time at NTU, through the employability team and through various opportunities that were put forward to me, I ended up having, a vast range of work experience. I managed to do, internships at the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, at Aon, at Freshfields law firm, at the also at the Bank of England, as well as Goldman Sachs. And it's actually at Goldman Sachs I decided to start my career, to apply here, for a grad role after final year. And I just like the step, like the process actually didn't actually start when I was filling out my application, or at the point when I decided actually this is where I want to start my career. Like the process of actually, when I look back, it actually started, like in first year, when somebody mentioned, this is a great, internship opportunity, Rav, why don't you go down to the employability team, configure your CV, send it in. And then, building up on that experience, being able to go for different opportunities and filter and say, actually, yes, I would do like this, or no, I don't like this, and to be able to then navigate my own, personal development and my skill set through second year, third year, the different experiences, again, still troubleshooting, deciding what I do like as well as what I don't like. So then, when I then, landed at a place when I did an internship at Goldman, I was then like, yeah, this is definitely a place that I want to come into, post final year. But even then, I don't think I'd even like fully made up my mind. It was just like a short kind of like insights internship that I did during the summer. And then, yeah, definitely connecting with different mentors and things like that, and applying for a full summer internship here, and actually ended up doing that during COVID. So I think it ended up just being like 5 weeks from home, but even though it was 5 weeks from home, I was able to connect with so many people, so many smart, intelligent people on a daily basis, work on live things that things that are like on the news on a daily basis, and things I would usually hear about in a week or a month's time, being able to be in the room and having some of those conversations then. And then, yeah, coming back into final year with an offer from them was like definitely like a pressure off my chest in terms of like applications going into final year, not knowing that I didn't need to worry about all of that. I can just focus on acing my exams. So at the moment I'm in London, our head office in London, in here every day. I just try to stay afloat with all the influx of information that come in from markets on a daily basis. But it's definitely exciting. I think like I've worked like a range of different jobs and done a range of different internships, but this is definitely like somewhere that I can walk in on a daily basis, and even if I know it's going to be a tough day, I'm still like, I've got an amazing team, I work for an amazing organization, and like ultimately I'm going to come out at the end of the day like with more information, more learning, like more development. It's just one of those things where like when I first started, I would have a day and I'll think like, wow, that's a really, really tough day, and the next day will be a bit tougher, and then the next day will be a bit tougher. And like like where I'm sat now, even if I look back on like some of the days last week, I would have never thought that grad Rav that started like 9 months ago would have been able to like troubleshoot and to be able to manage some of the things, some of those things that I am that I did then. And then it's just a strange place to be in, because knowing where I am now, looking forward to next, like I have a bad day today, but then I'll know like probably a day next week will probably be like a million times worse or more intense. But I know that I've got the base foundation skill set and knowledge in terms of problem solving, time management, all of those foundation things that you build right at the start when you're looking at your personal development. Those are the transferable skills and the skills that will come with you, because like time management, no matter where you go, you will always have that time management. You'll be able to manage your calendar, manage your meetings, as I'm doing now, attending this, knowing that before this and after this, I'm going to be completely swamped with stuff to catch up on. But yeah, it's just all part of the process. So, there might be some of those CPD hours that you might think, oh, I'm just going to do the CPD hours to tick the box. But I definitely recommend you to, you know, to actually focus on what skills and qualities you genuinely would like to develop, and go and use those hours to actively seek out those opportunities, because those form the foundation. So whatever you decide to go into, it doesn't matter. As long as you've got a good, strong base, you definitely, you know, be successful in that, and definitely won't feel swamped or overwhelmed.
That's great. Thanks, Ravan. And we're grateful for you taking time out of your very busy diary to come and join us. So
No, it's fine. I'll send you my manager's email. Yeah, I'll send my manager your email when he's chasing me on stuff.
Yeah. Next question then, please. Moving swiftly on from me getting in trouble with Goldman Sachs. What events and opportunities will I have access to as a Nottingham Business School student? I think we've covered a lot of the things through the conversations that we've had through Grads for Nottingham that Lydia took part in at the end of her second year, and the Code at Uni session that we ran a couple of weeks ago. Ben's talked about some of the international opportunities, you know, and Sunny's talked about the University Business Challenge. And this is just a small selection of the wide range of opportunities that are available to you as a Nottingham Business School student. And I'm always saying to our current students, if there's something that you would like to do that you can't currently see being offered, come and talk to me, come and let us know, and we will see what we can do to try and provide that additional opportunity and experience for you. So I don't know, Sunny or Lydia, if there was anything that we've not touched on that you wanted to highlight.
There's just a couple of things I just wanted to let students know, potential students know who are coming here to think about. We offer really specific tailored support to students. So if you come from, we call it RISE, which means that you might be eligible for additional support. So say that you're the first person at university in your family, you come from a geographically disadvantaged area, if you're a care leaver, there's specific support that's available for you, which means that you can get extra support to help you find work experience and funding support to help you through those. So that's really, really something bespoke to us here at Nottingham Trent University. We also have one called Riseability. So if you have a disclosed disability, there's additional support that's available for you there as well. And we have specific programs to help students to navigate where they want to go and how to succeed in best they can at university. So we have a women's development program to help women to get into the places they want to get. We have a Black leadership program. So we have lots of specific tailored things that really, really do help our students get to where they need to. Lydia, have you got anything else that you want to talk about?
I was just going to add actually on the point that you said about RISE and how good I think that is, because it's so, I think it feels like it's nice to have like that support blanket there if you need it, if you need that additional funding when you're going, you know, for, I think like for interviews, that funding to get to the interviews, if you need, you know, what to wear, that kind of thing. It's really good for students from any background to know that they're going to be supported to succeed. So I think that is a really good point. I think in terms of other things, yeah, it's kind of like what we covered earlier about the different experiences. There was another one this year, it was the Student Sales Academy, which I did online. That was a really good one. It helps you not only for going into a sales role, but just kind of building those communication skills and kind of like actually learning from people in the industry about them. Also really good opportunities to network with employers and people like that. If there's a job or an opportunity that you're interested in, if you want to speak to someone further, it's a really good kind of platform to go, oh well, I came to your talk today, and you know, connect with them on LinkedIn and then send them a message and kind of build your network that way. So yeah, I think that's what I'd add on that. Yeah.
Thanks, Lydia. And I think it's worth noting as well, some of you may remember from Great British Bake Off, a competitor who got to the semi-final called Selassie, who's actually an alumni of ours from economics with international finance and banking from 2008. And he came in just 2 weeks ago to come and judge a cake-off competition. So there's a whole range of things that you can get involved in as a business school student, no matter your interests. Next question, please. So I think we're on to our penultimate question now, and I'm going to pass this question straight over to Lydia and Raven. I'm far too old to understand this insight, so maybe I could go to you first, Raven, in terms of what's life like, and then we'll go to Lydia afterwards.
Sorry. Yeah, that is a big question. Like, what's you know, life like as an MBS student? I'd definitely say, you know, it's full of excitement in terms of some of the different opportunities and things that come up. It's definitely full of like exploring and finding yourself, things that you like, things that you don't like. It's a journey of, you know, like development and growth. Like, you know, you will change. You will not be the same person that you were, you know, when you started. Nottingham is a great place as well. There are so many like massive open spaces, parks, you know, museums, different like cultural and historic areas. I believe it's a UNESCO City of Literature as well. So if you're into literature, you know, we've got some great poets like Lord Byron's used to live here as well. So being able to travel around the area, go and visit places like Newstead Abbey, and spend the day out there as well, like it's just incredible. So I think like if you're someone who loves the outdoors, loves exploring, you know, some unique gardens and parks and stuff, like Nottingham is definitely like a great place to come and study. The people at the university are amazing. The staff at MBS, you know, is absolutely awesome and incredible. Where the campus is in the city centre, so you know, finish a lecture, home, get changed, ready for a night out, very, very quick, easy. Definitely. If I could choose like any other university now, I'd like, you know, what I know now, I don't think I would have chosen a different place to go and study.
Great, thank you. You can come back again, Raven. Lydia, what about your experience?
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with everything Raven said. It's what I like about it as well, and I think I mentioned this earlier, is that the fact that it, like, you are in the middle of a city, so you're not kind of just on one campus where kind of like just everything happens there. You know, you've got uni like in the middle, and then you've got, you know, you can go for food. You're embedded in like that city life, I think, really early, like when you move. So I hope I explained that well. I felt like that was all over the place, but also I think that also, as you said earlier, about like even the timetabling, I think that it kind of, all the staff and everyone knows that, you know, you have to have time for like that part-time work. You have to have time to kind of socialize. So I think that the way that is structured is really well. It gives you a good balance of everything. But yeah, it's a great university. I think also every opportunity that we've spoken about, it is having like that personalized experience. You know, you'll come in thinking, I'm quite interested in this, but I'm not sure where I'm going to end up, and it's a journey. And yeah, it's a great uni, and it's a great balance. Yeah,
Great, thanks both. Yeah, it's really unique, you know, in the city centre. You turn left out of our building, you're in the city centre amongst the restaurants, bars, shops that you want. You turn right and you're in Arboretum Park with a nice amount of green space to relax in. So it's a really nice opportunity. So thank you both for that. And we're on to our final question now, which I believe is, are there any societies I can join that are related to my studies? So as you would expect with any large university, you know, we have a whole range of societies that are open for you to join through Nottingham Trent Students' Union, and they range, you know, from sports to cocktail making society, pub game society, fashion society, etc. But there are societies that are specifically related to your subject areas as well. And Raven, I know you had some experience of this during your time with us, so maybe you could give us a bit of insight there.
Yeah, definitely. So being on the international business course, we actually had a BABE. That's what we call ourselves, the BA International Business. So we actually had our BABE society, and again, you know, having a place where not just like we can connect with like the people, you know, just in our seminar, but the people, you know, like course wide, you know, different assignments and things like that. But more so, like, you know, outside of that, I know that, you know, we've organized like different business trips, and that's really a place where we kind of take a little bit more ownership about things that we want. So if there's like an opportunity that, you know, that's come up, I know that there are a couple of occasions where there were like some TED Talks that were going on that we, you know, as business students, we wanted to go to attend. That was somewhere that, you know, we all kind of like got together in our group chat and just said, hey, you know, like, shall we all go and attend this? I know that, you know, there've been some society trips out to like Legoland and some of the other places close by as well. I'm not sure how much Legoland was related to the course, but yeah, so that was definitely a place where you feel more like part of like a course community, in terms of like the different events that the society would put on, and the society actually you know, like liaised a lot with our course tutors and different lecturers and things like that to actually, you know, put on events that us as students would be interested in. But actually the society also, they turned up and gave their input into different events that actually the business school and our course specifically were actually running. If there was something that they felt that students might be, you know, might be more interested in, or might have a different take or a different spin, or where we could add something to it, they're actually like invited to come along and to take part in that, which was really good. Great time, great place to get some different work experience, demonstration, different skills as well, if that's what you're looking for.
Great, thanks, Raven. Yeah, you know, I think again, I know there's a HR society, an investment society. You know, there's a whole range out there. So again, when you come and join us, you have that opportunity to really see what is of interest to you and get involved and take part. It really is up to you to make the most of those opportunities that are out there. So that was the final question for this session. I want to thank everyone that's taken part. So Raven, and thank you for taking time out of your busy work schedule. Lydia, thank you for taking time out of your final preparations for your last couple of assessments as well. And Sunny, as always, thank you for taking time. We hope you found this session really useful, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you in the future. Thank you ever so much.